Um, a lot has happened this past week, and I'm just disgusted with a lot of things. I want to try to make this video as informative as possible. I don't know how much data I have on here just because I've been losing a lot of data. I've deleted some things, and my videos have still been cutting off short, but hopefully I can get this video popping. Anyway, last week, I think it was Thursday, Alton Sterlin was killed because he was standing outside selling not cigarettes, that's Eric Garner, I believe. But he was selling CDs, and someone had called the police and said that he had a gun, and the police came, like a whole swarm of police cars were there, and it was caught on tape by someone recording. And the person, oh, let me do this because more lighting. The person caught it all on tape, and Alton was literally just standing there. I did not see the video, but here's what I heard from other people. Alton was literally just standing there, and the cops jumped him, and then apparently you hear gunshots, and then it's over. Now there's another video where you see the whole thing, and it's very graphic. I didn't see it. I'm not here for hyper consumption, you know. I get it. A black body was slain, and that's all I need to know. I don't need to see blood. I don't need to see people dying. I remember when my philosophy teachers showed me a video of who was killed. One, I forgot, but this man was literally just walking, and the police comes and just shoots him for no reason. Just walks up and shoots him. And they showed me this video, and I just looked the other way because why would you do that? Like, I understand, like, you think, okay, this would be of my interest because I talk about racial intolerance all of the time. Like, I used to talk about that all the time when I went to my last university. I understand that, but you don't just do that because you don't know what triggers them. Just like I had a couple of professors say the N-word to me, white professors, and I understand what they were trying to do, but you don't say that. Like, that's some insensitive nonsense. Like, we were talking about Tom Sawyer, and my professor said, how do you feel about this character being called Nigger Jim? And just like that. And I was kind of like taken aback because you don't do that to people. Like, I don't understand. Like, I get it. You want people to understand like how awful violence is or racism is. But I'm a black person. I know. I don't need to see that. I don't. And I have not watched any of the videos of Alton Sterling or anyone getting shot. That Sandra Bland photo where people were saying she's dead, you know, that's a fake mug shot. They propped her dead body. If you know that it's a prop dead body, I'm not sure if it's propped or not, but if you know that's possibly a dead body, why the fuck are you still distributing that? Because I don't like that shit. I don't like any of that. So I'm just disgusted. And then with Philando, Castile, his girlfriend recorded the video, and we were able to see it. And I saw a little bit of it on Good Morning America, and they showed the whole thing. Why the fuck are you showing a bloody up body of a man? Why? You don't know who the fuck is watching that shit. You don't know if a child is watching that. But y'all always want to distribute, you know, pictures of dead bodies, dead black bodies, dead brown bodies. I remember when I was younger, they used to show clips of men being in combat in Iraq. Just killing people. Just killing people, shooting them dead, all on tape. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? These people have no respect. No respect for brown bodies. No respect for black bodies. But anyway, again, people are saying, I am so sick of black lives being treated like shit. Black lives matter. Zendaya said it all. Like, how many times do I need to say it? Black lives matter. And then, of course, there's a couple of ignorant people, and by a couple, I mean thousands, saying all lives matter. No, blue lives matter. The police matter. You got this person, Tommy Lauren, just being a fucking troll. Being a troll. Because people are like, I don't even think she believes half the stuff that she says. She put on Twitter oh, Black Lives Matter are the new KKK. And then she deleted it. She deleted it, but you know what? She still said what she said, because on Friday, at a Black Lives Matter protest in Dallas, 5 police officers were shot and killed by a sniper, an Army vet, or a military vet. I sometimes use Army and military interchangeable. But they were shot and killed. 5 of them. So it was about 10 police officers that were shot, and they were taken to the hospital, and 5, no, I think it was about 15 police officers shot, and only 5 died. You know what? People started blaming it on Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter did it, you know, this is why they are a hate group. And I'm like, why would you automatically think it's Black Lives Matter? You see, that's how racist you are. The fact that you think people are part of a group that is saying, you know, value Black lives, will go out and just kill people for no reason, that just shows how racist you are. That you think Black people wanting humanity for their own people are violent. That really pissed me off. Now, naturally, when my dad told me about what happened, I said, you know what, that's fucked up, because you shouldn't be killing people just because they are in a badge and a uniform. That's what I thought to myself. Just because you see a police officer does not mean you need to be shooting at them, because you know what, they do have a family. And some of them do believe the oath that they take to protect people. And I do believe it. Now, I don't trust many of the police. I don't. You know, sometimes I gotta be careful. But you know what? I know how to distinguish police officers. So when I heard about that, I said, you know what? That's not what I am trying to teach to people. I'm not saying go out and shoot random cops, because that doesn't solve anything. I just want the police officers who do commit crimes to be indicted and punished. That's all I want. So, you know, with that aside, people just don't understand that violence is the answer sometimes, you know, by any means necessary, as Malcolm X said. And speaking of Malcolm X, the guy who killed the 5 police officers, his name is Micah Xavier something, but they shorten it to Micah X. Ha 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 ha. Like, really? You know, we know what you're trying to do. It's just a bunch of travesty going on. And in the last video I said before I had to delete it because it was way too short because the video cut off, I am just sick of the narrative that only cishet Black men matter. No one else. All Black lives matter. But no, of course, it's just this narrative of, I'm so tired of Black men being killed. You know, we have to worry about our sons and fathers and husbands. What about women? What about girls? What about daughters? What about people a part of LGBTQIA? What about disabled lives? It's always Black men we talk about. You know, these strong, tough men who are the symbol of masculinity, and they are a threat to white men. I even asked my mom, why don't they ever say Black women and men need to be protected? Black men and women are victims of hate crimes, racialized violence, anti-Blackness. And she's like, well, you know, women tend to be seen as weaker and delicate, you know, and we're not a threat, you know. And I was like, nonsense, because Black women aren't seen as women. Cis or trans, we aren't seen as women. We are seen as people who are just too masculine, and we don't know how to be women. We don't know how to be girls, and that's why Black men leave us for white women. I've heard Black men literally say this, that Black girls don't know how to be girls, and that's why Black boys go for white girls. That's what Black men literally say. But then when it's convenient to erase us from police brutality, erase us from rape crimes and transmisogynistic violence and homophobic violence and disabled violence, then y'all want to sit there and say, oh, y'all delicate, y'all just weak, and y'all just pretty and shit. Like, y'all can't ever be victims of police brutality. And I'm like, now y'all want to paint all Black women as femme, weak, cis, and delicate. That's some fucked up shit. That's some fucked up shit. And you know what? There are plenty of trans Black women who are killed every day. And sure, some of them get headlines, but ain't nobody marching for them like that. Only a few cis Black women are marching for them at that. So then when it comes to trans Black women, they aren't safe. Men who are part of the LGBTQIA, they aren't safe. Black people who are part of the disabled community like me, we aren't safe. Dark-skinned black people, especially women, they aren't safe. Oh shit. Let me see. Oh, it's not that hot, but it said recording a video while charging may increase the temperature. Okay, so I gotta be careful. But anyway, so many black lives aren't safe, but it's always from the perspective of let's protect black men because they are the leaders of the community. Black patriarchy won't help black women, and they definitely won't help any other gender in the black community because there's more than two genders. It's not just black men and women. As someone said, yes, we need to protect black women, but there are other groups we need to take care of as well. Other genders. Non-binary. Gender non-conforming, which I consider myself gender non-conforming. A gender non-conforming femme woman. I do. Because, you know, I personally feel more comfortable in a film appearance like this. But I just don't like people making it like, you know, only black women that aren't seen as a threat are femme. Because even the most femme black woman, trans or cis, and dark skin, they aren't seen as anything but a man. Or they're degendered. People misgender them all the time. Like Serena Williams, Laverne Cox, so many. So stop the bullshit that, oh, the reason why we don't bring up black women is because, you know, you're safe from violence and only black men get shot at because they are strong and they are men. Bullshit. Bullshit all the way. And I'm sick of Kim Kardashian because she's full of shit. She made a half-ass post saying Black Lives Matter. And it's only because people yelled at her and told her, if you're gonna fuck black men, if you're gonna get famous off of your big ass butt that's associated with black women, then say something about Black Lives Matter. You don't say shit. You don't. You said I didn't give a fuck about racism until I had Northwest. That you didn't think about your white privilege. You know what, Kim? You're a racist. You are. I don't care how nice you are. I don't care if you're someone that's like blackface is wrong. You're a fucking racist. And the fact that you're going to bring up Black Lives Matter but only mention your son, Saint, and in passing say, oh, I'm worried about my children, Northwest and Saint, but make it a point to say, I don't want to grow up to have a son. To have a son that has to worry about getting shot because of the color of his skin. You're full of shit because what about Northwest, who is already sexualized, who is a fetish, who is seen as the good black girl because she's mixed and light skinned with loose curly hair and baby hairs compared to Blue Ivy? What about Northwest? You know, she's already a fetish, as someone said, and for you to make it like Northwest is such a, you know, innocent, you know, delicate black girl that's not a victim to police brutality. I'm just so fucking pissed off right now. I'm so mad at you because you did bring up Sandra Bland, but that was bullshit because you only brought her up because she made the headlines. She made the headlines because you didn't mention any other black woman. And I feel like someone else wrote that for you. Or if you did write it, it was half-assed. It sounded like you just took a bunch of bullshit you saw other people say. You were like, Black Lives Matter, read this. Bitch, do better. Do fucking better. Because when we said, oh, Kim, you're fucking a black man, you're married to a black man, but you're not going to speak up for black men being killed, we didn't mean just speak up for black men. Of course, a woman who is famous off of the appropriation of black femme bodies, black women's bodies, you're not going to say anything about black women. No, you're not, because you don't really care about any black person outside of black men. Just like that video of that white blonde teacher sitting there saying, you know, I like raise these black boys and I teach these black boys and, you know, I have to tell them that the world is against them. Bitch, what the fuck about black girls? What about them? What about them? No, I want to know, because the times where black men are talked about is by white women who fuck black men, are like, I love black men, but then you have a bias towards black women. Just like Rachel Dolezal, who masqueraded as a black woman. So many black students, black female students, said that she didn't give a fuck about black girls. She had such a bias towards black girls. She looked at black girls like, what the fuck? But was so sweet and coddling to black men. So the times where white women do care about black lives, they only care about black men. So you know what? Y'all disgust me. Y'all really do. I was just so disgusted because it's like, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Oh, but what about our sons? What about our fathers? It's always about the fathers. It's always about the men. And even with the whole Alton Sterlin case, people were saying, yeah, he may have committed statutory rape, but it was in the past. I don't think he deserved to die because it had nothing to do with his past of statutory rape, which I think is disgusting. But so many people were saying that was in the past. Are you really making excuses for statutory rape? Come on now. Come on now. That is a separate issue. But don't sit there and try to act like rape is some sort of character flaw, because it's more than a character flaw. They say, well, it was consensual because the girl got pregnant. I don't care. She was 14, he was 20. A child cannot consent to sex. They cannot. They can't. I don't care if you're 17 and the child is like 15. It's still statutory rape. It is. It's against the law. So, you know what? Y'all just need to cut that out. Also, I heard about the Latasha Harlins case. Now, I heard a little bit about it a couple of years back, but I didn't know the full details. Now, I know it was a long time ago, 25 years ago, back in 1991. Tupac touched on it, and I believe Menace to Society made a reference to it with the Korean store scene. But what happened was a little 15-year-old black girl was shot and killed by a Korean woman because she was trying to buy orange juice. And the woman thought that she was stealing because she put it in her backpack. Okay, you think someone is stealing something because they put it in their backpack? Fine. But it was on video, and of course I didn't see it. The woman reportedly grabbed the little girl by her backpack and